Welcome into episode 30 of the Bleav in Twins podcast. I'm your host, Anders Pryor, alongside Twins expert, analyst, co-host, and good friend, Zac Tipton. Zac, big episode milestone today, number 30.
Yes.
This is a big one.
It really is. It's our month. It's our month of Bleav in Twins, basically. But it's our 30th episode here. And Anders, it's been an absolute pleasure doing with you. Obviously.
Yes.
I know this setup behind me will only be around for a few more weeks, but I'm excited to continue this with you throughout the course of next year. And once we get into actual good free agency news, it'll be a really fun show to have here. I know recently we've been just kind of barely talking about the Twins, despite this being a Twins podcast.
Yeah.
That is not the case today.
No.
There is a big Twins news that dropped earlier this week that we will get to later on. That is getting a big piece of our show, basically. I'm sure Twins fans, you guys know what that is. But we will also have breaking news that just happened in literally a minute ago that we'll talk about that in a few minutes also. But for now, let's talk about Christmas, Anders.
I would love to talk about Christmas.
It is Christmas time.
It is Christmas time.
And me and Anders talk about it. We don't know if we'll have another show before Christmas.
Right.
We'll probably have a little Christmas break and then maybe do one after Christmas some point. Not really sure how the schedule's going to work out, but we'll figure it out. So because of that, we need to talk about Christmas, Anders.
Yes.
We first just discuss to you what Christmas means to you and what are your traditions that your family goes about.
I don't think anyone's ever asked me what Christmas means to me older than the age of 10. But I mean, for traditions, I mean, I have some good ones that I really like. I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it's weird. It changes every year. There are some years where NBA Christmas or like Christmas NBA or Christmas basketball feels like warmer and fuzzier than like Thanksgiving football. I don't know why that is, but it just feels that way for me. Maybe because it's like Christmas and, like, it's not like the dramatic kind of like, all the circus and calculus of Thanksgiving. It's like just regular, it's Christmas, you wake up and it's comfy and you have your hot chocolate and everything like that. And there's basketball on. So sometimes it does feel, good in that way. I am going to Knicks Spurs this year on Christmas, which will be super fun. I'm excited to see Wembanyama in person. The big one that I always kind of look forward to the most is we usually decorate the tree on Christmas Eve or the day before, and we always listen. I forget if it's called Winter Romance or Winter Wonderland is the name of the album, but the Dean Martin Christmas album. It's my favorite Christmas album. It has my favorite Christmas songs on it. And we put that on and, we decorate the tree. And it's great. I always love it. And I always enjoy doing it. And it's so cozy. And I think it's probably my favorite holiday just in terms of how, and the city gets so just kind of, I know, I hate using the word magical, seriously, in a serious way in a sentence, but it does kind of feel that way. So that's kind of the one that I look forward to the most, but it's not super spectacular, but it's always the same and it always feels great. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that is fair. For me personally, my Christmas is kind of different every year because I'm never in the same place, different Christmases. I'm with my grandparents and I'm with my dad and my family sometimes. It's really dependent on what year it is. This year, I will be going with my mom and my mom, my brothers, my grandparents on that side this year. Which I'm excited about, but also I am sad I'm not going home because I know a lot of friends that I have at home right now, which would be really nice to go see them. But basically, basically, I'm not sure what my traditions are with this family because this family is very different and there really are no traditions with it. So I don't have any traditions for this side of the family. My dad's side of the family, it's the classic. You open for Anders.
Yes.
Presents opening on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, or like a mixture of both.
I've always done Christmas just day, the whole thing. I know that like a lot of people, like you get to either the person who they're for gets to pick one, or the parent gets to pick one that they think they'll like the most, or the least, or whatever it is. That's how I have always. I know some people do that. I just do all of them in the morning. I just for whatever that's just kind of how it is because you're decorating the tree and you're doing all the stuff and it's cold outside. You kind of just want to like bundle up and just sort of stay put and everything. So I never do them on Christmas Eve.
I always do it on Christmas Eve. That is my family tradition. Is I've always been
all the presents,
all of them. Yeah, from recently it's become all of them. I was like a kid. It was one present for Christmas Day.
Okay.
But for now it's all. Right, for most of us, it's all presents on Christmas Eve. Me and my family sit together in a circle. I'm the one that goes under the tree and just starts handing them out to people, and it's a really fun thing, and I love it. And that's our Christmas Eve. We do it right after we get back from church on Christmas Eve. My grandparents make a oyster stew. Was always our Christmas dinner thing. That's more changed. Like we just go turkey right now. But it's really awesome. I love it. I love my Christmas. I love my family on Christmas. I don't know the traditions of this family. I don't really enjoy Christmas with this family this side of the family as much. Hopefully they don't watch this podcast. But honestly, it's I love them to death. But I love Christmas my other family because we're all like actually like Christians, and this side of the family is not. And so I can go to church. Like I'm going to go to church alone on Christmas, which is kind of sad. But
I mean, there's something nice about it, I guess, a little bit. You get to kind of like just like be present with yourself and have all those kind of moments with yourself.
Yeah, but again, I don't know. You kind of just.
I get it. I've never, none of my Christmas traditions have ever revolved around food. We never do dinner at the same place. We never do like the night before, like we kind of never stopped doing cookies, like for Santa, like we never stopped doing that. We kind of just kept it going, which is never a problem for me. But no, I mean I'm super. It's just like a nice sort of thing. We always do. It always has to be the pre-made ones, like the pre-made dough. We can never do homemade. It has to be the pre-made dough the way we do it every single time. So
that is fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. So then, Anders, what are you doing for Christmas? Like, where are you going? Are you your family? You just go home?
I'm at my dad's usually for Christmas Day. Like, I mean, like usually what would happen is that I would do Christmas Eve night with my dad, and then Christmas morning with my dad, and then during the afternoon and evening on Christmas Day, we would do it with my mom. But my mom's going to be away with my stepdad. And so now the whole Christmas Day, like Eve to, start of Christmas Eve to the end of Christmas Day, that's all with my dad. And it's just we're going to be doing the Knicks game. And then we're going to be just hanging out, watching basketball.
Basketball. I don't know about much basketball. In my opinion, will be there, but I hope to watch a good amount. But I Bleav
the Wolves do play.
The Wolves do play, and I hope to watch them because obviously that's a fun game to have. And seeing the Wolves on Christmas Day is great.
Who do they play again? I forgot. Do they have the Lakers? No, they don't.
The Lakers or some. I don't know.
Man. They have the Mavericks.
Okay, the Mavericks.
They're the 2:30 Eastern time game. It's actually a decent slate of games. It's Spurs, Knicks, which will be fun in the Garden, I think, and then Timberwolves, Mavericks, Celtics, Sixers, which I think will be very lopsided. The Celtics right now are only favored by 9.5. I don't really see how that line makes sense, I that might be a decent bet. And then Lakers Warriors, because ESPN has to get their Lakers fix in, and then Nuggets Suns, which I think will be a nice kind of nightcap. I think.
Yeah, now is that in Phoenix? The Nuggets Suns game?
That Phoenix Suns game is in Phoenix. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Are you on Ticketmaster right now?
No, I'm not on Ticketmaster. I'm looking up a different thing because I ordered a jersey through like one of those Chinese websites that you can get jerseys from for really cheap. Yeah. And I ordered a Wolves jersey. I don't own a Wolves jersey, and so I ordered a Wolves jersey. I want to see if it's going to get here before Christmas Day.
I really hope that you got a Nas Reed jersey.
I got an Anthony Edwards, my guy. I got an Anthony Edwards.
Killer.
I love Nas, but I can't pass up on an Anthony Edwards jersey. So I'll show you the jersey. I got this jersey, which is my favorite jersey. See if I can zoom in. I got this jersey. I don't know if you can see it.
I love just how it would be funny if it said the big red men on it on the jersey itself. Could you imagine if it came like that?
Yeah, no, right? So that was the jersey I got. But that's my favorite jersey of theirs. But anyway, with that being said, we got breaking news that just happened, and now we know. And because we wasted some time, we do know the package going back.
We do, okay.
In return, so in breaking news, Cody Bellinger is a New York Yankee.
Yes.
And it's Cody Bellinger and $5 million. Cody Bellinger and $5 million to the Yankees for Cody Petit.
Okay.
And that is it.
Okay.
That is the only package that's the only name I saw.
Cody Petit spent how many games did he even like?
From what I read, I think it was like 6.
Okay.
Before he got injured.
Cody Petit, he was mostly with the Marlins. I think it was the Marlins. I want to say his whole career before being on the Yankees. When that's what I believe.
It was.
It was okay. So yeah. I did not expect the package to be very big, just given Cody's most recent year. Obviously, if it came off the previous year, 2023, then no, it absolutely would have been, like a more substantial required return. But I mean, this is a pretty expected and kind of easy move, to kind of digest and think about. He's from the area. It's a position of need, not a crazy asking price as, we're seeing here. And yeah, it makes total sense. I think, like it was rumored to be true that he was going to be moved. It wasn't 100% sure. Then when
and it also says here Bellinger will be playing center field.
Center field. Okay, so that
means Judge will move back to right.
Okay, and so that'll mean that Dominguez will move over to left.
Yes.
Which So no, I mean I have nothing bad to say. I think it's a great move. It makes a ton of sense. He's only 29 years old. We need people in their athletic prime. Kind of on right now, the team outside of Jazz Chisholm, right now, every single person on the team is kind of either on the back end of their prime or past their prime or is really young. So having someone in that firm middle territory, I think, is really important. And I think that doing that in a position of need for a not crazy asking price is great.
And it's better, and it's awesome because Cody Bellinger's wife is Giancarlo Stanton's ex, which makes it even better.
Oh, that's sweet. That's gonna find its way in a T-shirt somehow.
I will 100% find its way in a T-shirt. But yeah, Cody Bellinger's wife is Giancarlo Stanton's ex, so that's fantastic. But But anyway, yes, this is a big move, obviously. We
Yeah,
knew Cody Bellinger was not going to.
What's your kind of take on it?
I mean, he's not great, right? He hasn't been good in a while, besides 2 years ago. Besides his MVP year, he only had really one other good year, and that was like 2 years ago. So it's hard to like for me to be like, this is a great move, but they didn't give up much for him. So like, I don't see an issue with it because they didn't give up too much. I will say I think people are overestimating how good Bellinger is a little bit. But in Yankees, he might do well because I don't know why, but he just might do well there. So who knows? I don't really have much to say. I kind of wanted the Twins to go for him, but now looking at the package, I kind of wish the Twins would have gone for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm hyped. Good for you guys. It's a good move. It doesn't really seem like a high risk move in terms of that.
No, right, exactly. It's not a. This is nothing because the Yankees have, I think, sort of done a little bit too much hedging on like ready now pitching in the past 3 or 4 years. I think that this is. I'm glad that nothing had to be given up in that sense. So that's good to see that, Cody Petit, 30 years old, not a super important part of the team. It wasn't really, even when he played well last year, wasn't that important. So the upside is much greater than the risk, and it's a position of need. He gets to come home. It's great. It's just really there. It was so natural for so long for a reason, and now we're seeing it. Did you just do the skull sign? Was that what that was?
Maybe.
You want to talk about the Vikings?
I maybe do want to talk about the Vikings.
Talk about the Vikings. I want you to start with the uniforms, though, because I'll be honest. So here's my take on the Vikings uniforms. So I love the white, right? Like the all white everything. I think it's awesome. On the regular jerseys, because the jerseys that they were wearing last night, the font's a little different from the one on that they usually wear. I think the font that they usually wear on the backs of their jerseys is really ugly. I don't like it. It's like weird. Like the curves are weird. I kind of like that. I feel like the one they were doing last night has a very sort of similar feel to it. I think that should be what they wear every time. And I like the silver outlining around it too. I would take that kind of lettering format and just do that on all the jerseys. That's what I would do.
Okay,
but your thoughts on the jersey and your thoughts on the game?
They were so clean. Those jerseys are awesome. I'm looking at buying one right now. Like I'm looking at getting one as quick as possible. But no, I'm so hyped for the jersey. I thought the game was awesome. The atmosphere was really good for a while, but the game got boring, which is kind of unfortunate. That game was hard to watch in the second half. I was having a hard time even watching it in the second half. These are just so boring. Like it was the Vikings dominating an inferior team.
Right.
And it sucks because I thought this game might actually turn into something because usually the Bears play us pretty well. But that did not happen. The Bears were atrocious. That left tackle who came in for their injured guy was terrible.
Karan.
Yeah, I forget I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but yeah, that guy. He was really bad.
Yeah.
I thought Caleb missed a lot of throws he should have had. He did well, like not getting sacked, which is kind of his specialty. Mm-hmm. But he missed a lot of throws he should have had. Like there were wide open throws he missed. And he just holds the ball for way too long. Williams does, especially with how bad of an offensive line he has. He holds the ball for way too long. And the last thing on Caleb Williams I'll say here is I just don't see it. I see maybe I don't see first overall pick potential anymore. I see a guy that maybe has like a first round potential, but not first overall pick potential.
Right.
Like Caleb Williams. And I'm not really seeing it. Maybe he did. And the thing is he's got the offense was good. He's got weapons. he's got the weapons. DJ Moore and Keenan Allen and Rome Odunze are all getting open. They're all doing what they need to do, and he's just not finding them. And like people are gonna blame the O-line, but like it's his job to also get the ball out quicker, which he doesn't do. He holds the ball for way too long, and then he runs. He panics really early because he has to, and he's not good he's not good when he panics in terms of finding people.
Right. It's weird. Like he's because I don't mind. I don't have a super strong opinion on Thomas Brown. On props to him, quite frankly, for he went from a passing game coordinator to head coach in 3 weeks. So like honestly, props to him that they're even scoring.
I will say this though. I thought Nick Wright made a really excellent point on First Things First that said, as a rookie, you're supposed to throw interceptions.
Right. Like
as a rookie, you're supposed to. There's a thing as not throwing enough interceptions. There is a thing as not throwing enough interceptions. And what Caleb Williams is doing right now is the definition of not throwing enough interceptions. Like he should be taking risks. He should be throwing the ball where he thinks he should be thrown. Even if it gets picked off, oh well. He's not throwing aggressively right now at all. He's throwing scared.
Right.
And so yeah, I don't know. You can continue. But yeah, you can continue.
No, you're right. Like there is a sweet spot because he does kind of look timid. Because like in terms of like time, like time to throw versus like how long he holds onto the ball and like things like that. And I thought Chris Broussard made the good point too, where I think now we're at a point where his realization that he can't athletically escape the way he did at USC is now kind of showing itself in his body language, and the frustration is starting to rear his head a little bit. And I do think like I want to. It's like it's this weird thing where like if his whole style is supposed to be this big explosive kind of thing, then he needs to be coached as to how to utilize that correctly rather than just kind of let him develop it on his own and then everyone else takes care of all the other stuff. So I think the non-pick stuff is one of the few reasons or one of the few ways rather that's starting to show itself. And I don't think I don't think I have seen a specific team in my however many years I've been watching football. I don't think I've ever seen, and you tell me if you agree with this, Zach. I don't think I've ever seen a specific team need a specific coach more than I have seen the Bears need Ben Johnson.
Oh, I was going to say Mike Vrabel.
No, I think the Cowboys need Mike Vrabel. I think the
Cowboys need to extend Mike McCarthy.
You need what?
I think the Cowboys are going to extend Mike McCarthy.
You think that do you?
I'm seeing reports that they might that Mike McCarthy might be keeping his job.
I think he's a betting favorite to return. I agree. I think those are the two kind of there aren't that many great jobs available this offseason. But I do think the two kind of perfect matches for me are Mike Vrabel to the Cowboys and Ben Johnson to the Bears. Those are the kind of two perfect matches for me. But I mean, if we were doing a redraft, I would still have him number one personally. But it's weird. Like it's weird because he's not throwing picks, but they're losing, and then like it's this really weird rookie year where like he's not being super reckless, and I don't get like I don't it's difficult, right? Like it's weird to it's weird because like May's doing a lot of stuff, but like the expectations weren't as high, and like whatever, and like I think May has had multiple weeks where he definitely passes the eye test more than Caleb does, but. But I think Ben Johnson's a perfect fit.
Here's the thing. I don't know if Ben Johnson would go to the Bears. I don't know if Ben Johnson would go to the Bears. I think Ben Johnson probably would leave the division. If he gets an opportunity, he's going to probably leave the division probably somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
To me, also, I could see a world in which the Raiders fire Antonio Pierce and hire Dion and then draft Shador.
I think yes, because the two teams that need quarterbacks that are going to have a good enough pick to get Shador
are the Giants and the Raiders.
Or the Giants and the Raiders. The Panther, to me, the Panthers and the Titans have won too many games to get him unless they trade up. Which, if the Panthers, I am not trading up to draft another quarterback. Like we've seen.
Also, Bryce Young hasn't looked bad in the last 2 weeks to the point where I think you risk that much to trade up for a QB. Like I'm sticking with Bryce. If I'm sticking with Bryce Young on the Panthers because he's actually looked good in the past 3 weeks.
I would like. Do you? I would.
I don't think you draft a QB from the Panthers. I think you need a lot more than QBs. I think you draft a receiver.
I think
Or you draft anything else. You draft anything else but QB in this draft, in my opinion, for the Panthers.
So like if you were the Panthers and you were saying at 4, you would take Ted McMillan?
I don't know about Ted. I would probably go with either Ted or I go O-line/D line.
So like Abdul Carter or Kelvin.
Something like that. Yeah. Like me personally, this QB class is so weak that I feel like you go with Bryce Young for another year because of the bright spot he has shown in the past few weeks. You go with Bryce Young for another year. If that doesn't work out, you draft a QB in the next draft and there's a better QB class.
My counter to that would be, like, we all know, like, obviously, like, Dave Canales and Dan Morgan have done enough to keep their jobs, like, for this upcoming season. I think they want to keep their jobs, and I think they know, like, I think they know that if they produce a similar record next year, they are gone. And so I think that even if Bryce looks better, I don't think that even next year, even if you add a great player like Tet or Banks or Carter, that you can win enough games to retain your jobs. And so I think that Canales and Morgan owe it to themselves. I think they owe it to themselves to try a year with a quarterback that they pick, because they have, and let me just make sure that I have this right. They have extra capital to work with from the Brian Burns trade. They have, and I'm just going to go onto like the log that I use and just make sure that I'm speaking correctly. Yeah, they have right. They have 2 seconds, and however, yeah, they have a second. They have 5, and then they have a bunch of really good stuff. They have 552, 67, 108, and 1012. So they have 5 picks in the top 120. So I think they owe it to themselves to draft a quarterback of their choice. And also, like, this is a weak quarterback class. Like, doing better than what Bryce Young has produced is not exactly a high bar to clear. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
then let's ask about another situation.
Yes.
Right now, that is actually pretty important to Minnesota fans.
Mm-hmm.
and Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix.
Yes. God.
What do you do right now if you're Atlanta? Because Colin Cowherd did something on his show that I agree with, which is if Atlanta plays Michael Penix, they can never go back to Kirk Cousins.
Correct.
And you have a QB on a 4-year, $160 million deal that's $100 mil guaranteed, which basically means 2 years of Kirk Cousins basically guaranteed. And you have a QB that you seemingly didn't think was ready, so that's why you drafted him then and said he'll sit behind Kirk Cousins. And now you're going to play him possibly over Kirk. And now Kirk's just kind of going to be doing a Daniel Jones, Deshaun Watson thing, which is just sitting on your bench, eating up $40 million a year.
Right.
What are your thoughts right now on what the Atlanta Falcons should do?
So this is why the Penix thing was so dumb, because because the Atlanta Falcons did nothing in Kirk's contract to structure it around if we find ourselves in a position where playing a rookie quarterback or a second-year quarterback is the right thing to do, we can be financially prepared for it. They did nothing to do that, which means that drafting him was the wrong thing to do, and it was a stupid thing to do. And which is a bad situation right now, because I think I forget how you pronounce his name. He's a French name, the name of the general manager. But like a lot of people in that Falcons front office are fighting for their jobs right now. Like they are. And so I think it's a awful look, because a lot of these guys like that, because by the time if that's the problem, is that if Penix hits, because if he plays and he sucks, it was a bad pit regardless of Cousins. If he plays and he's awesome, then the problem is that like you're going to have to pay Drake London. We'll see what happens with Kyle Pitts. Bijan's going to be insanely expensive, right? Like there are young guys on the offensive line that you haven't paid yet, like that are really, really good. And so by the time Penix will need to be paid, if he does hit and he is really good, like you're going to have to get rid of some of those guys anyway. So, and that would be the case even without all the dead money from Kirk. But you're going to have dead money regardless, so it's going to be even more constrictive. And you're probably going to have to play a bunch of defensive rookies during your time with Penix. So it's such a it was such an easy error to avoid. And the idea that drafting Penix at this point was this like multi-year playing GM masterclass was always so dumb. And now we're dealing with the consequences of it.
No, I agree. With that being said, we probably should talk about the main Twins topic we want to talk about here now. Yeah. We got a little bit too deep into the NFL talk, which is my fault also. I kept bringing up questions.
You're cool.
But because I bet eventually on this podcast, we will talk about Sam Darnold and the Viking situation right now and whether or not they should bring him back or whatever they're going to do. Mm-hmm. And we'll do that eventually on this podcast. And also, with that being said, there is a Nerd Zone Sports coming out this week where we will be talking about the College World Playoff, as well as a lot of these questions that we're talking about now on this podcast will probably bring back to the Nerd Zone Sports podcast. Yeah. So go check out Nerd Zone Sports on YouTube. We will be posting another episode in the next few days with the CFP predictions and some NFL and some tough NFL questions to ask. With that being said, Anders, we got a big deal in Twins World. We got big news in Twins World. I mean, This is the most massive. And we said when we talked about this first topic a couple months back, that if there were any updates, we'd update. And there has been an update. And that was the Twins ownership situation. As we all know, the Pohlads have announced that they are looking to possibly sell the Twins. And recently, one name has came up that a lot of Twins fans are very excited about, including myself. That would be Justin and Matt Ishbia. If you don't know who Justin and Matt Ishbia are, They are the current owners of the Phoenix Suns, the Phoenix Mercury, and I want to say they're also the owners of the Nashville Predators. If I'm not mistaken. Or I think they are, whatever the Nashville hockey team is, I think they own that as well.
The Predators. I'll fact check that for you, but I think that's right.
I feel like I remember reading that they do own the Nashville hockey team, or at least they're part owners of it. And so a lot of Twins fans are very excited because Matt Ishbia and Justin Ishbia announced they are very interested in possibly purchasing the Twins. Justin Ishbia would be the controlling owner of that, and Matt Ishbia would be like a minority owner. Justin Ishbia, of course, is the brother of Matt Ishbia, who is the owner of the Phoenix Suns and Mercury. From what I've heard, Justin Ishbia has said for a very long time that he really wants to buy an MLB team really badly. He wants to buy an MLB team. And Matt, on the other hand, also wants to be involved in it. And the good thing about that for the Twins thing, and this is the main topic, is the Ishbias are big spenders. They have the winner go home mentality. That's like, we're going to spend to get this team the wins. If you guys don't know, when Matt Ishbia bought the Suns not that long ago, his literally like 3 days after he bought the Suns, they traded for Kevin Durant. And so if they do make this move with the Twins, look for the Twins to become maybe a bigger market than what we are now.
Yeah.
Or at least, and another thing that I love that the HBS have done is they got their own like television channel for the Suns. They got like a Suns local television that they give to all the locals of Phoenix, the local television channel. And I really like that as well. So look for them to possibly do something similar to that as well, and to make it a lot easier to watch Twins games moving forward.
Yeah.
So
I just checked. I couldn't find anything that indicates he owns the Predators. I see majority owner of Suns and Mercury. But this would be such a wonderful move because he is obviously like some NBA owners are more. Some NBA owners are more public than others, and like obviously like Mark Cuban and Steve Ballmer.
Okay, sorry, I'm wrong. It was not the Nashville Predators. It was the Nashville SC Major League Soccer team.
Got it. Okay, got it.
That was where I was wrong about. I'm sorry, wrong sport. It was Nashville's soccer team, not their hockey team.
Got it. Okay.
So that was my bad. That was what I meant.
Steve Ballmer and Mark Cuban are kind of like the big public sort of like owners. I mean, and obviously like Genie Bus too, like to a certain extent. But I think there's this kind of that second tier, and I think Matt Ishbia is in that tier along with like Danny Ainge and John Sy and that kind of other group. So I think that it's a figure, it's a recognizable figure, and I mean the Kevin Durant thing, that's the optics of that are a little maybe different because there's a salary cap in the NBA, but it's still it's a demonstration of aggression and strong, swift proactiveness, which I think is what small market teams like the Twins or mid-sized market teams like the Twins are really pursuing. So I think it would be a perfect marriage. If this
I think as well, and I would love that. And so I personally am very high on that. So I really hope it does happen. Because that would be a really big move for the Twins organization and would get us in a really good position. But with that being said, That's where we're at there. And so how big is this move, do you ask? It would be massive. Like it would be like it is going from a guy who you could tell is not liking where he's at in the Minnesota Twins and Pohlads to a guy who's going to turn this franchise around, and that's what we need.
Right.
And so, like, if you look at possible moves they could make to make a splash at that point, if they were to get it, you have to really look at who the free agents are left or who are some of the top trade targets left. Freddie Peralta might be a guy they might go after. I don't know. But we will see where this goes from here. I'm excited to see what the Twins do in terms of big moves. If Ishbia does this, I don't know if this will happen in an early enough time to do this, but it maybe next year we're talking more about it next year.
Yeah.
In terms of that, but for that, that's really all we have on the information. I will say, if you go to The Athletic, Dan Hayes wrote a really good article on Ishbia. Estimated net worth of $5.4 billion from Justin Ishbia, who would be the main guy in the Twins organization.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's really the only thing. I didn't talk too much about it, but it just is. He's also but I mean, Ishbia has been huge in running all three teams that he is invested in. And so we're really excited about that. So hopefully it works out for us in that situation, and we can finally say goodbye to the Pohlads.
Yep.
And with that being said, Anders, is there any other topics we want to discuss here today, or are we good here?
I think we've done everything. There's nothing super I mean, we had the Cody stuff, but in between that and there hasn't been a ton in between, when we talked about Crochet and Freed and what we just did.
Yeah, now. I mean, is there any more you want to talk about the Ishbia situation? Is there anything else you have to say?
I think we kind of covered it. It would be a great pairing. And he has an aggressive mind. I think some general managers, or excuse me, some owners, kind of have there's some new owner syndrome that happened with Ishbia, where you use what you said, you trade for KD 3 days later, and then some are a little bit more methodical and more kind of academic in a certain sense. I think that new owner syndrome can have some bad consequences in the NBA. I do think that for a non-big market baseball team, that kind of new ownership syndrome, there's more room for error with it in this, with how baseball is structured. And so I think that from a philosophical standpoint, it's a really good match.
No, I agree. I agree. I think from a philosophical standpoint, I think it's exactly what Twins fans need right now. And so I'm really excited. But with that, Anders, I think we're ready to do a quick sign off here.
I think we are.
And honestly, like I said, we'll do a lot more talking about the college football playoffs and a lot more talking about the NFL on our Nerds Ruin Sports podcast on later this week. Me and Anders will be doing a whole prediction. So go check it out on YouTube. The link for the Bleav in Twins will be on Nerds Ruin Sports will be posted down below in the YouTube video. So if you go check out on our YouTube. But Anders will do the sign off here as well.
I sure will. I will. This was a good episode. Nice,
simple, easy episode.
Nice, simple, big bulk of Twin stuff. Talked about Christmas as a whole thing.
We do love Kirk. We do love Christmas.
We do love Christmas. We love Christmas, and we love the Ishbias. All right, I'll take us away here. This has been our milestone episode 30 of the Bleav in Twins podcast. Alongside Zac Tipton, I have been Anders Pryor. If you like our content and like this show, you can go download all of our content at the Bleav Network website. You can watch our content and download our content there and all other Bleav content that you guys know and love. If you want to listen to our show, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you can consume your sports media throughout the week. if you are watching us here on YouTube, subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave us a comment, let us know what you think. Go Twins, go Vikings, go Ishbias, and Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you say, and we'll see you guys soon. See you, Zach. Good to see you as
See you
always.
guys.